Hello everyone, we are back for our Week 14 CFL recap as the season is, what now, like 2/3 of the way done. Makes me sad. But anyway, we're going to be recapping what happened this past week in Week 14 clearly. But before we start, please make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new. You want to see more CFL content from me as I'm trying to get 3 videos out a week. I know that doesn't seem like a lot. I have another channel, which is why as I start to make money, if I make money coming up within a year or whatever on that other channel, I'll be able to put in more time to both channels. But anyway, subscribe if you're new. Obviously, it'd be nice to make money off this one. So let's talk about the first game of the week for this week, that being the BC Lions heading over to Montreal to take on those Alouettes. This game was a dud for the BC Lions, especially offensively. I think defensively, you look at this game, I don't have a lot of stats to pull this off to say off the top of my head, but I will say our offense was not doing any favors to the defense. The defense was stuck in a bad spot. Montreal had good field position, especially early on in this game. I felt like BC did actually have a 3-0 lead, and then that safety happened with Pipkin, bad punt, turnover, etc., etc. Just kept going from there as the night really unraveled. Crazy to think that the Lions were in a position to possibly call this way back in. Oh, the Brian Burnham touchdown that was overturned as well. That one I forgot about. But overall, crazy to think that BC had a possible chance to even come back in this one. They didn't. Just fact of the matter. We did get to see Vernon Adams Jr. in part of this game before Pipkin went in there for him. I would really like to see if Vernon Adams Jr. can come in there for the Lions coming up soon, though, because that lead against Calgary, it's evaporated, and the Stamps probably are in a position where they could surpass BC in the moment. So that was that, as the Owls pick up a good win, and they somehow, some way, are grittily, ugly, finding their way to that second spot in the East to get another playoff spot, as the Lions and the Red Blacks, or I should say the Tiger Cats and the Red Blacks, are not in a great spot to make it. As for the Saturday games, 3 of those, by the way, we got to see Toronto head on over to Ottawa to take on the Red Blacks. Toronto was in a spot to where they were 6-5 coming into this. Ottawa was, I want to say, 3-8, and they had a 2-game win streak, looking for 3 in a row, which would have been really nice for them to try to close the gap out east. And Toronto wins this one 24-19. Holy cow. Toronto does not know how to put the pedal to the metal or to step on somebody's throat when it needs to be done. The Argonauts were able to build up a pretty good lead in the first half, and even in the third quarter had pretty comfortable lead. It looked like it was going to be over. And the fourth quarter was really exciting as the Red Blacks were able to get a comeback going. Caleb Evans had a rushing touchdown, and they had a field goal, and were even in a position with Nick Arbuckle, who had a bigger fourth quarter, to come in and win this game. They had under a minute to go, and they had an opportunity, and I really think they lose this game right off the bat, where on that second down, not right off the bat, but in that last minute, on second down, Arbuckle turns to his right and goes for a swing pass to his running back on 2nd and 10 to the flat, where there are 3 Argos defenders, and that doesn't go well, which led to like a 3-13. It's crazy. Almost ended up getting the first down on the next play, but a drop ball happened. It wasn't the best position ball, but again, when you're under pressure like that, what can you do? All in all, Toronto, holy cow, that defense is a saving grace, because watching that offense is like, I could only imagine being an offensive coordinator. I can't do it, but the defense has been able to get it done, and I think that's a big talking point for the Argonauts. Is, while there's been times they get lit up defensively in a year, you think back to the Lions and early point of the season, is this Toronto defense good enough to possibly get them out of the East and then maybe in the Grey Cup and make some magic happen? We'll have to see. As for Ottawa, probably puts the nail in the coffin for a playoff spot. I don't want to be a cynic and say that it is done, but had they won this game, they would have looked like an outside chance. Now it's just rough. Then we got to see the Banjo Bowl. Whew. What a game. What a game. Saskatchewan loses by 34, 54-20. I think we can make up some excuses for the Rough Riders. A big one being they were battling illness like crazy. 15 players, if I'm not mistaken, or coaches as well, battling some form of illness. And this one was ugly Winnipeg, like I said, I tweeted the other day. Check out my Twitter, by the way. I think it's Bush League, Bush Report, something like that. I think it's linked in my bio. But anyway, I tweeted saying every time Winnipeg had the ball that I could recall, it ended with at least a field goal. That's what it felt like. And they just were able to pile up points. Dalton Jones set a Winnipeg Blue Bombers rookie record. You had 3 different quarterbacks score touchdowns for the team, and this was ugly. I remember at one point that Cody Fajardo had 1 incompletion, but they were still down by like 17 points. Zach Claros played well. Winnipeg played well. They won big. Saskatchewan 6-7, lost back-to-back against the Blue Bombers. Nothing you can do when you play the Blue Bombers and they're on and you're off and dealing with a lot of this stuff. But yes, this was ugly as the Blue Bombers sweep the Labor Day Classic and the Banjo Bowl again. And we will see what happens with the Rough Riders in their playoff hopes. And I think Winnipeg is in a spot where if they win this upcoming week and Calgary loses, they are able to lock up the top spot in the West. So, boom, there you go. We'll have to see, maybe if not all of the CFL. There's a CFL post about it. I'll check it out later. Anyway, on to the final game of the week. This one was a doozy as well. You had the Battle of Alberta. Calgary taking on Edmonton in Edmonton. They win 56-28, I think. And this one was, I guess that's the best way to describe it. The Elks special teams have got to figure things out. Stamps return game looked pretty good. They had a blocked punt again. They were able to take advantage of it. They were really good on second down. And the boys were rocking as Calgary is in a spot, like I said, caught up to BC. Right there with them. Possibly could, make some things happen. I believe that this was Taylor Cornelius. Yes, he did play in this as they played around with a running back situation as well. Jake Mayer, 287 yards, 1 touchdown on 28 passes. He completed 20 of those. Calgary's defense had some sacks, was able to put up some pressure all around. This was a game. It happened. It did. And here we are again, wondering whether Chris Jones is able to guide this team to a resurgence next season. I'm going to give him a break for this year, but if things look rough next year, that's when you start to talk about what's happening here. As for Calgary, they're going to the playoffs again pretty soon here. They're going to lock up their spot. That's all she wrote. But yeah, so this was the Week 14 recap. Excuse me. Let me know your thoughts for the week down below. I know as a Lions fan, I was venting about that game. Got to watch it on Friday night and watch pretty much all of it till I knew like the last 5 minutes it was out of control. But yeah, I want to hear you vent if you have anything to vent about. And I want to hear if it's officiating, if it's your team personally, you don't have a running back in there, you like all that good stuff. But anyway, please make sure to tell me that and like this video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Please stay safe, have a great night, and you go love the CFL, alright?